Have you ever felt that sinking feeling when someone else succeeds and you can't help but feel a sting of jealousy? That tight knot in your chest? The whispering thoughts of why not me? Or I deserve that too? You're not alone. Envy is one of the most universal human emotions, yet it's rarely discussed openly. Most people shove it under the rug, pretending it doesn't exist. And in doing so, they miss an opportunity to transform it into something powerful. Today, we'll explore how that uncomfortable energy can become fuel for growth, confidence, and achievement. Envy isn't just jealousy, it's your mind recognizing a gap between where you are and where you want to be. A gap between your current self and the version of yourself you aspire to become. Neuroscience shows that when we feel envy, brain regions linked to social comparison, reward anticipation, and self evaluation activate, which is why envy can feel almost physical. That intensity signals your deepest desires. The sting you feel when someone else succeeds is a map pointing to what truly matters to you. Most people suppress envy, criticize themselves for feeling it, or let it manifest as resentment. This maladaptive envy is toxic, but adaptive envy, the kind we'll harness, fuels reflection, ambition, and strategy. Step one is awareness. Pause. Acknowledge the feeling without judgment. Say to yourself, this envy is here. That's okay. It tells me what I truly want. Awareness turns a reactive emotion into a reflective tool. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Becoming aware of envy is mastery's first step. Step two is curiosity. Instead of stewing, ask, what exactly do I envy? Is it wealth, recognition, skill, or relationships? Break it down. Let's say you envy someone's confidence at work. That's actionable. You can practice public speaking, assertive communication, or role-play scenarios to build confidence, turning emotion into action. Step three is reframing. Transform envy from I'm lacking to I'm learning. Let it inspire rather than consume you. Historical figures exemplified this. Michelangelo compared himself to peers, but used that envy to refine his craft, producing timeless art. The difference between destructive and transformative envy is conscious application. Next, cultivate gratitude alongside envy. It may sound counterintuitive, but gratitude grounds you. Acknowledge your progress, however small. Compare yourself to your past self, not just others. Psychological studies show that gratitude practices reduce maladaptive envy while amplifying motivation, creating a powerful feedback loop for personal growth. Visualization is another tool. Close your eyes and imagine achieving what you envy. Feel it. Live it in your mind first. Neuroscientific research shows the brain often doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real experiences. This primes your mind to act, making your ambitions tangible. Mindset also matters. Replace zero-sum thinking, they win, I lose, with abundance thinking. Their success doesn't take away from mine. This shift rewires your perception, reduces resentment, and opens your brain to opportunities. Steve Jobs famously said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish," reflecting a mindset that sees others' achievements as fuel rather than threat. Stories help too. In folklore, the tale of the cunning fox teaches how envy can lead to clever action rather than blind rivalry. Fictional heroes like Harry Potter show us how observing others' strengths can inspire growth without eroding our self-worth. Even cartoons like Avatar: The Last Airbender subtly explore jealousy and transformation in ways relatable to every viewer. Practical exercises: keep an envy journal. When envy arises, write down who or what triggered it, what you feel, and what actionable step you can take. Turn passive feelings into structured reflection. Another method is skill mapping. Identify the abilities or traits you envy, then design micro habits to cultivate them. Tiny incremental progress over weeks and months compounds massively. Recognize envy's power in relationships. Adaptive envy can improve your social strategy. Observe, learn, and adopt best practices without resentment. Power struggles, subtle authority dynamics, and workplace hierarchies often trigger envy. Understanding this gives you an advantage. Remember, envy is a signal, not a verdict. Finally, integration. Reflect daily. What did envy teach you today? Which actions did it inspire? Which mindset shifts did you apply? This turns a fleeting emotion into a sustainable growth mechanism. Over time, envy transforms from a painful comparison into a personalized roadmap for achievement. Envy, when consciously managed, becomes one of your most effective personal growth tools. Instead of avoidance or shame, embrace it, analyze it, and convert it into energy, strategy, and insight. The next time that familiar sting arises, smile, because it's pointing you toward your untapped potential, waiting to be realized. Think about your brain for a second. Social comparison activates multiple regions: reward centers, self evaluation zones, even areas tied to stress. That pang of envy? Your brain literally lights up as if it's saying, "Attention, this matters to you." Most people shove it under the rug, beat themselves up for feeling it, or let resentment fester. That's maladaptive envy, the kind that drains energy and poisons relationships. But adaptive envy, the kind we're going to focus on, is like having a personal coach inside your head. It signals desire, highlights gaps, and gives you direction. Let's look at history. Abraham Lincoln, yes, Honest Abe, faced colleagues with charisma, skill, and faster decision making. Could have been a recipe for bitterness, but instead he observed, analyzed, and incorporated lessons from those around him. That potential envy didn't weaken him, it sharpened him. And centuries later, we can do the same. Envy is a guide, not a verdict. Aristotle called this process emulation. Confucius highlighted observing others to cultivate virtue. Across cultures and time, thinkers have recognized envy as a tool if we handle it consciously. And here's the key: it's practical, not abstract. It can be applied daily. Here's the cool part: science backs it up. fMRI studies show that adaptive envy engages the prefrontal cortex, which handles planning, strategy, and self-regulation, while toxic envy activates the amygdala, triggering stress and reactive behavior. That means our response can literally rewire the brain. By acknowledging envy and channeling it into action, we literally train ourselves to convert discomfort into growth. Stories illustrate this beautifully. In folklore, there's the fable of the two frogs. One frog envies the other's jump to a higher pond. Instead of sulking, he practices, improves, and eventually surpasses his rival. Simple, right? But the principle is universal. Envy points to what you desire, and incremental action bridges the gap. In Indian folklore, the clever monkey observes the king of birds, envies his position, and devises a clever strategy that turns disadvantage into advantage. These stories show that envy is information and strategy is the application. Now, let's make it practical. And I mean really practical, like we're sitting together in the living room chatting over coffee. The first step is awareness. Notice when envy arises. Don't shove it down. Don't beat yourself up. Say, okay, that's envy. Got it. That simple acknowledgement is already powerful. It shifts the energy from unconscious frustration to conscious reflection. Next, curiosity. Ask, what exactly do I envy? Is it skill, confidence, recognition, financial success, something else entirely? Breaking it down transforms vague discomfort into actionable insight. If it's confidence, that's a skill you can practice. Public speaking, assertive communication, role-playing difficult conversations, these are concrete steps, not tomorrow. Start today, even if it's just 10 minutes. Small actions compound massively over time. Reframing is the next magic move. Transform "I'm lacking" into "I'm learning." Michelangelo, for example, compared himself to other artists, felt envy, and then used it to push his craft into timeless mastery. Envy without reflection? Poison. Envy with reflection? Fuel. Now let's talk gratitude. Sounds counterintuitive, right? Feeling envy but practicing gratitude? Yes. Because gratitude anchors you in your own journey. You notice your progress, even if incremental, and you reduce toxic comparison. Studies show gratitude paired with reflection amplifies motivation while keeping negative envy at bay. Visualize success too. Athletes, performers, and innovators use visualization extensively. Close your eyes. Imagine achieving what you envy. Neuroscience shows the brain reacts similarly to imagined and real experiences. Your mind gets primed, motivation rises, action follows. Envy intersects with power too. Social hierarchies, workplaces, friend groups, they all trigger comparison. Understanding these dynamics gives you insight. Queen Elizabeth I, for instance, observed rivals, felt envy, and channeled it into strategy. The lesson: envy signals opportunity, not threat. Now, here's where we get really practical, the part I love. Imagine me sitting across from you like a roommate or best friend, casually explaining, here's what you do. Every time envy hits, grab a notebook, phone, whatever, write down what or who triggered it, and importantly, what exactly you admire or want. Got it? That's your personal roadmap. Next, pick one micro action, something you can realistically do today or this week, and do it. Just one thing. Tiny, simple, but consistent. That's where the magic happens. We keep going. After the action, pause, breathe, and tell yourself, I did that for me, not against anyone else. That shifts the energy entirely. Then, jot down 3 wins from your own journey, big or small. Gratitude anchors, action amplifies, envy stops being a trap and becomes a compass. Weekly reflection is crucial. At the end of the week, let's review what worked, what didn't, patterns, adjust, celebrate micro wins. Over months, that pang of envy becomes a guide pointing toward growth, confidence, and achievement. You're not competing with anyone else, just leveling up yourself. Historical and fictional lessons reinforce this. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Napoleon Hill taught channeling desire, even envy, into focused effort. In literature, Marius in Les Miserables observes others' privileges and turns envy into courage and action. Harry Potter characters navigate envy and personal growth. Even cartoons like Avatar, The Last Airbender, subtly show how observing others' strengths fuels personal improvement. Visualization, gratitude, micro action, and reflection together create a cycle. Observe envy, analyze it, act consciously, and reflect. Each loop compounds learning, skills, and emotional intelligence. And over time, envy becomes a personal GPS guiding you toward untapped potential. Remember, envy is a signal, not a verdict. Handled consciously, it's a growth engine, a strategy tool, and an insight generator. Avoidance or suppression, missed opportunity, awareness, reflection, action, that's the path. Over months and years, the discomfort you once dreaded becomes your roadmap to mastery, and what once held you back now propels you forward. Envy doesn't have to be your enemy, it can be your guide. By observing it, breaking it down, and taking deliberate action, you can transform jealousy into strategy, motivation, and growth. Remember, every pang of envy is a map highlighting what you value most. Use it wisely. Practice gratitude, visualize success, and take actionable steps daily. If you do, you'll turn what once held you back into your greatest power. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on mastering your mind, and comment below on what triggers envy for you and how you're planning to transform it.